and welcome to another episode of Unboxing with Paul. And today, I'm very excited to bring you a product that was sold out for nearly 4 months. Of course, I'm talking about the Apple polishing cloth. Let's take a look at it. This polishing cloth retails for $19 from Apple, and it was such a hyped item that it sold out within its first day when it first released. You guys know I'm a sucker for specs and try as hard as I could, looking online everywhere. There weren't any actual specifications I was able to find about this polishing cloth, such as the build material, other than actual dimensions. There were no specifications listed for this cloth. However, it does list literally every single modern Apple device, all the way back to the iPod Shuffle 4 that was released all the way back in September of 2010, 13 years ago. So Apple is definitely making sure that they squeeze as much mileage out of this one, just because they're telling that, again, you can use it with basically anything all the way back until 2010, which is, again, 13 years ago. This is the verbatim text from the Apple website, which says, "It is made with a soft, non-abrasive material. The polishing cloth cleans any Apple display, including nano texture glass, safely and effectively." And that's it. And I want to be honest with you guys. I'm a sweaty guy, and my screens always look like trash, and I'm never impressed by a brand new polishing cloth doing well, as that's its job. If something is clean, you press it up against something that's not clean, soil is going to transfer. Particles are going to transfer, dirtiness is going to transfer, right? That's pretty simple enough for me to understand and not for me to be impressed by, right? Now, I would be impressed if this Apple polishing cloth holds well, even if it's still a little dirty, or even if it's been used several times. That's enough talking. Let's go ahead and get it open. And in typical Apple fashion, we will have an easy pull tab with a little green arrow. It's going to allow us for easy access to our product, like so. Okay, and here is the Apple polishing cloth. It looks like a very, very average polishing cloth. There seems to be nothing out of the ordinary about it. As a matter of fact, it doesn't seem to be even an Apple polishing cloth, except for the little Apple logo that we have down on the lower right hand side. Very typical, average looking cloth. There's nothing too special about it. And here is an iPhone 11 side by side for comparison. It is roughly about half an inch taller, quarter inch taller, not even. Looks to be almost the same height as an iPhone 11, and it looks like it can wrap up. Looks to be the size and dimensions of roughly two iPhone 11 side by side. And again, I'm not impressed by a cloth. On the inside, it says safe for use on all Apple displays and surfaces for infrequent cleaning of hard to remove smudges on nano texture glass. A 70% isopropyl alcohol IPA solution may be used. And it just says that same message in Spanish, and I believe that may be Portuguese. But that's it. We don't get anything else in the box. Again, I'm always a sucker for finding Apple stickers, but unfortunately that's not always the case. And that's it as far as the box goes. But again, this is just a very average polishing cloth. Again, I'm not impressed by a polishing cloth cleaning, as again, that's their job to do. But as you guys can see, my iPhone 11 is actually quite dirty. both front and back. There's a lot of smudges and a lot of debris on it. Mind you, this is not as dirty as my iPhone usually gets. Usually gets a lot dirtier. Let's find out. But again, I think that the Apple polishing cloth did a fairly good job because again, it's brand new. That's really its job. I'm not too impressed here. I will dock it, however, because there is, and this may be just straight out of the factory, but there is definitely quite a bit of dust that gets generated. Now, I'm not sure if that is just the microfiber coming off of the polishing cloth itself or some contamination that we may have had from the factory. Again, I'm not sure how well that is displayed on camera, but there is some dust that definitely comes off the polishing cloth that was not on my device prior to this. And again, for a $20 microfiber cloth, I would have at least expected it for it to be dust free. I may or may not purchase another one just to find out if it just happened with my one Apple polishing cloth. But again, for $19, if you were going to charge $19 for a polishing cloth, it better be the best polishing cloth I have ever seen in my whole life. I can't help but to feel that I can find a polishing cloth of similar quality on Amazon for about half the price, or maybe even a quarter of the price. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do my best to, again, perhaps find some other polishing cloths online that we can go ahead and put side to side or in comparison against this one, because, again, for $19, it just seems a bit steep, again, for just what it is, just a simple polishing cloth, no nothing else. Granted, it is listed that, or I did read that in case this were to become dirty, in case this were to become saturated with dirt and debris, you can always hand wash it with soap and warm water. But that's about it. Go to me in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? Can you recommend me a polishing cloth, or do you know of any other microfiber cloths that are very high quality but aren't so hard on the pocket? And as always, thanks for watching.